Repo is all about collecting valuable items within different maps and extracting them either solo or with a team. The title is an acronym for the Retrieve, Extract, and Profit Organization, but it isn't all sunshine and rainbows collecting these items for profit, as horrific monsters lurk around every corner waiting to destroy all that you have retrieved. While the easiest way to combat these monsters is heavy weaponry such as grenades, guns, and melee weapons you can purchase from the in-game shop, what do you do before you can afford those items? Knowing what each monster does, as well as their weaknesses, is the best way to make it out of each level alive. In this guide, we will discuss each monster in Repo, what they do, and tips on how to defeat them to exit a mission both quickly and safely. There are a total of 19 different monsters within Repo, each coming with their own set of mechanics that make them unique. The apex predator has 150 health and appears to be an adorable little duck with large eyes and a very silly quack. But this monster can be one of the most obnoxious if you don't understand its toolkit. The apex predator will follow you everywhere, trying to get your attention by jumping in front of you, jumping when you jump, and especially trying to make you click on it. If you do, it will reveal its monstrous form with hundreds of sharp teeth and fly at you, trying to bite you. Its bite does 10 damage per chomp, and it can land up to 3 bites per second. After 10 seconds, its rampage will come to an end, and it will return back to its cute and cuddly looking form. It's best to take your time when this guy is around, and do your best to avoid clicking on it or hitting it with an object, which causes it to enrage. The best way to take care of the apex predator is either by hitting Q, which toggles your tumble form, and staying completely still until it loses interest and walks away, but you can also flush it down a toilet or lead it into a cauldron, stunning it and making it easy to slam around and kill. The animal is a creepy, crawly monster with 150 health that is more of a nuisance than a terrifying monster, as it crawls around and flails frantically. When it flails, it will do 2 damage to whatever it hits, including valuables, or crawl right into you and stun you, making it easier for its wild arms to hit you. While the attacks are not powerful with a singular animal, if there are multiple that just keep bonking you around, it can take a decent chunk of your health away. They are one of the least threatening monsters in Repo, given their slow speed and weak attacks. If you do want to rid yourself of it, the best way is to attempt to pick it up even if you're solo, as it scares the animal and makes it run away at lightning speeds. If you want to kill it by picking it up and slamming it around, you will either need 2 players or 4 strength solo. These little skulls pack a major punch, or, well, explosion. They are quite obviously holding dynamite on the top of their skulls, and with only 50 HP, they aren't too scary to deal with. The issue lies within their powerful explosion that does 30 damage and knocks players back. More so, they never travel alone, always spawning in groups of 3 and wandering around aimlessly looking for someone to blow up. If it sees you, it will ignite the flame on the sticks of dynamite and run towards the nearest player, and once that dynamite is lit, it cannot be snuffed out. Anyone at close proximity when that dynamite goes off is instantly killed, and those standing far enough away will take 30 damage and be thrown backward. They are easy to pick up and throw around into a wall or the floor, but the best method is to just get a safe distance away and let them blow themselves up. The Bowtie is a large, marshmallow-looking creature that has 100 health and a fan-like attack. It walks around at a medium pace and will charge right toward you once it spots you. When it does, it will let out a loud, continuous scream, pushing anyone within the scream's path backward into walls or objects, which causes quite a bit of damage. The scream itself does not do any damage. It's the screaming that throws you into objects that will end up being your demise. The Bowtie can randomly enter a frenzied state where it runs around at high speeds and damages anyone or any object in its way. It takes 9 strength to pick up, making it one you should probably just hide from and wait for it to patrol away rather than attempting to kill it, unless you have weapons. Then, just blast the Bowtie to bits. The chef is a huge frog wearing a chef's hat and coat that is quite slow moving. Once it spots you, it will pause for just a second and then leap at you while swinging massive meat cleavers wildly, doing enough damage to kill you with just 1 leap. The lunge attack has a set path though, making it easy to sidestep away from, and given that the chef only has 150 HP, it isn't tough to kill if you are equipped with a weapon of some kind. If the attack misses, the chef will ragdoll and flail wildly until the attack ends, giving you ample time to make your escape or to hide. The clown is extremely fast, has 250 health, and does a massive amount of damage with its powerful laser that shoots from a tentacle-like nose on its face. With heavy footsteps that will shake your screen, they are easy to spot before they blast you to pieces, but that doesn't mean to charge at it with a gun thinking you will make it out alive. The beam always aims for the head, and can kill you almost instantly if you only have 100 health, meaning no health upgrades, and deals 30 damage on its first pass and 70 on the second. Being further away from the beam gives you a better chance at survival, but honestly, your best bet is to run as far from the clown and hide if you don't have a stun gun or weapon to take care of it. It can also run up and kick you when its beam is on cooldown, which does 50 damage and knocks you back. Given you will need 13 strength to pick it up, it isn't worth trying unless you are well into the levels within Repo, but you can attempt to duck under tables and avoid the laser, or just duck in general. But this takes extremely accurate timing, so again, you should probably just run and let it walk away. The gnome is just plain creepy to look at, sporting a wide toothy smile and a blood-red face. With only 20 health, they are very easy to kill, as you just need to pick it up and fling it into a wall to smash it to pieces. They do wield a pickaxe though, but it only does a small amount of damage. You can also use the gnome as a projectile, throwing it into an enemy to stun it. Easily one of the most terrifying and annoying monsters in the game, the Headman is exactly what it sounds like, a giant floating head with one strand of hair dangling from the back of its skull. With 150 health, it takes 13 strength to pick up, making it not a good choice for throwing around to kill it. While it roams around with bright glowing yellow eyes, it also makes this loud biting sound while it looks for a player to chomp. And if it spots you, it will fly at you at high speeds and bite, dealing 50 damage and knocking you pretty far backward. If it chases you, ducking under something is your best bet, as its reach is not very far, and honestly, this is your best bet to survive the Headman if you don't have a gun handy. How do you fight what you can't see? Well, there are a few ways to fight a hidden, and trust me, you will want to after it uses its only ability. The hidden, which only has 100 HP, is less of a monster and more of an annoyance, as it simply picks you up and sprints into a random direction, usually the opposite direction you were traveling. Spotting the hidden is easy, as it makes a loud breathing sound when it gets close, leaves a trail of black smoke, and has pretty noticeable footsteps that it leaves behind. If it touches you, it will let out a scream, grab you, and take off in a random direction. If you have any items in your hand, the grab will cause you to drop them, usually making them lose value in the process. You cannot move while the hidden is running with you either, and even though the hidden does no damage, it can plop you down in a room with a more terrifying foe. Unless you have a friend or heavy weaponry, there really isn't anything you can do about a hidden other than remain alert and attempt to hide under a bed or in a cabinet when you see or hear it. Shooting aimlessly towards the hidden is also a way to go about killing it, but this isn't the most reliable method. There is nothing funnier than entering a room with a Huntsman and immediately panicking and trying to hide. The Huntsman has 250 health and is completely blind, but has supersonic hearing. If it hears footsteps, jumps, voices, items clanking around, or anything else, he makes a very funny sound and fires his shotgun in that direction. This shotgun blast is instant death at close or medium range, as it does 100 damage. Fighting the Huntsman without a grenade, 9 strength, or a gun is not recommended, and you should just run and hide very quietly until he walks away. Almost like something out of a horror film, the Peeper has 150 health and can be obnoxious if you don't know its mechanics. Peepers will only spawn on the ceiling, making them hard to spot before they get their eye on you. The Peeper will connect a beam to your eyeballs, forcing you to stare at it. After about 3 seconds of eye contact, the Peeper will begin doing 10 tick-away damage until you break its line of sight. The best way to get out of the eye's grasp is by backing away and trying to LOS it with a door frame. If you are playing with friends and can't get your bearings or find a door to exit, they can run in and take the focus of the eye, letting you run away unharmed, or slightly harmed if you looked at it too long. The Mentalist is a gray alien with a giant brain, literally. Sporting 150 health, the Mentalist is not something to play with if you are not well prepared due to its toolkit. It sits crisscross and floats around in an almost meditative looking state, looking for you. And if it spots you, it will activate its anti-gravity aura that causes you to float up in the air. This leaves you immobile for 10 seconds, and in that time, the Mentalist will turn that aura red and slam you into the ground or nearby objects, dealing 40 to 50 damage. It's also worth noting that hiding under a bed inside of that red aura is not going to save you either, as it will still do the 40 to 50 damage whether you are under something and unable to be lifted or thrown up into the air. It can teleport at any time wherever it wants, making it hard to track, but since it has relatively low health, killing it is fairly easy with a weapon. If you have a friend with you, they can grab you out of the aura before you're slammed down, but solo, you should probably just hide and let it float away, unless you have 4 strength to pick it up and throw it into a pit. The Reaper gives 5 Nights at Freddy's vibes, as it almost appears to be an animatronic. With 250 health and a barrage of attacks that do 10 damage damage each, just avoid it whenever possible. The Reaper has blades for arms that swing wildly and quickly, not unlike the Chef if it detects you. This can be really bad news for you if you're close and get hit multiple times. What's worse is that if it's attacking next to your cart with all of your items in it, it can set you back to almost 0. Hiding under tables isn't always great either, as it can crouch and slash you to bits. Crouching and hiding before it detects you is your best bet, even with friends. The Robe truly is the stuff of nightmares, with 250 health and an attack that does either 50 damage when the monster is crouched or 100 if it is standing up. The Robe is a tall creature with a skeletal-looking face and long black robe, and its favorite thing to do is stalk you very quietly and quickly until it gets close enough to one-shot you if you have no health upgrades. Fighting the Robe is not a good idea, as it runs very fast, right up to you, and attacks you as soon as it either touches you or an object in your hand. Be silent, be patient, and remain hidden until it gets bored and leaves you alone. Yet another monster that is more of a bother than anything else, and that is the Rugrat. The Rugrat has 150 HP and looks like a giant baby, even sporting one tooth. As the Rugrat roams around looking for someone to beat up, it will pick up small to medium objects to use as a projectile and deal a massive amount of damage. While it does no damage on its own, it picks up items and whips them at your head, which can kill you if you aren't careful. It can also throw 2 objects at once, which can be an instant one-shot. The only tip here is to try and get it away from any objects, but that can be a real pain to do. It's also not hard to lift up and throw around with a friend. The Shadow Child is the Enderman of Repo, as it is tall, slender, and can teleport randomly and disappear at any time. If you look at the child, your screen will slightly darken, and after 2 to 3 seconds of contact, it will giggle maniacally and jump scare you with a yoink sound and deal 30 damage as it throws you backwards. If you bonk into something, you will take even more damage. Killing it usually isn't necessary, as it does nothing unless you look at it, so you can just wait it out until it teleports somewhere else. The Spewer has 65 health and does 10 damage per attack. It is a strange little monster that isn't actually a massive threat. In fact, it could even help you. When these fish-like monsters get you, they will take over your face, lowering your voice. Then you will periodically vomit, which hurts anything that you hit, including items, turning it into a useful and lethal weapon against even the strongest of foes, such as a clown. As long as you don't throw up on your friends or your items, you can use this monster to damage enemies or just wait it out in a corner turned away to not hit anything. A Trudge is a force to be reckoned with, having 500 health and an attack that does 100 damage. This monster is exceptionally slow-moving and doesn't offer a huge threat as long as you stay out of its view. So always try to hide and let it pass, even if it can take forever for it to do so. The Trudge can also use its long tendrils to reach under furniture if it knows you are hiding. So really, try not to be seen and just wait it out, unless you want to be smacked in the face with a giant mace. The final monster in Repo is the Upscream, with only 50 HP and an attack that stuns you and does 10 damage. The Upscream is more of a nuisance than a threat as well. Its smiling little face is deceptive, and if you get too close to it, it will scream at you, forcing your perspective directly towards it while doing 10 damage and stunning you. If they decide to keep attacking you, this can stun lock you, though they will often move on after an attack or two. They only have 50 health, so if you have a way of dealing damage, it won't take long to get rid of these guys. If that isn't a possibility, hiding is the best option and waiting for it to just walk away. That's going to do it for this guide on every monster in Repo. For more, head on over to our growing wiki pages. And as always, keep it locked on IGN.